Hey, hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. Hope you guys are doing very well today. In today's video, we have landed on Nazeebo for our playthrough, everyone's favorite specialist. Last year, I decided that I was going to dedicate quite a lot of time to learning Nazeebo, and I'm happy to say he is one of the characters that I am best at now. And I really feel like I'm in a position where I could give you advice, or at least a little bit, maybe a little bit more than normal. Nazeebo is sitting at a 50.89% win rate right now with a popularity of a whopping 32% and a ban rate of a whopping 10%. Seems as though people don't like playing against Nazeebo. He is the 14th most banned hero in the game. Rhaegar is sitting at number 1 with a 70% ban rate and a 65% win rate. We're going up on week 5 without Rhaegar nerfs now. I wonder how long this is going to go. You can leave your bets down in the comments. Back in 2016, on September 27th, is when we saw a massive rework to change Nazeebo into the witch doctor that he is today. Now, he has received some balance patches since then and some bug fixes since then, but his playstyle has remained mostly intact. Before this, Nazeebo didn't have to land his spiders in order to spawn them. Now you have to hit enemies in their hitbox with your Q to make it work, where previously you just had to throw it down on the ground and then spiders would come out of it. Also, at the same time, instead of sending out 3 toads with 2 charges, we would send out, I think, 6 toads in a single cast. So you can kind of shotgun that poison onto an enemy a little bit easier. Nazeebo is a fantastic character. He's capable of really widespread damage over time with his toads fanning out and getting bigger as every time they hop. And he's also capable of very focused single target damage with the spider build. I love spider build. It's one of my favorites in the game, and I have a really good example of why it can be strong in today's video. If you do enjoy today's video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It helps us out a ton. And this game was recorded with viewers. We're going to start doing that a little bit more. In order to fit this into my schedule a little bit easier, I'm going to practice characters throughout the week, like make sure I'm really comfortable on them. And then every Tuesday, we're going to stream these matches for the A through Z until we're done with the series. That's the plan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves in the tomb of the Spider Queen today. The friendly team Nazeebo, Vala, Stitches, Brightwing, and Leoric. All of these are viewers, and they're helping me out with our match today. I am super duper grateful. Urel, Rainer, Lily, Jaina, and Muradin make up the enemy team. At level 1, we're going for Widowmakers. Enemies hit by corpse spiders are slowed by 25% for 1 second. That part is like totally inconsequential. We don't care about that at all. What we actually care about is if we hit people with our spiders, we're going to then deal more damage with our spiders, which is excellent. With this particular, I'm going to say something controversial. With this particular style of Nazeebo play, stacks don't matter as much. I am not even trying to hit the 160 or 170 or whatever it is that I need for the late game. That is simply not a goal I am after at the moment. Now, if I hit it, great. But if I don't hit it, it's not going to ruin my day like it does for other Nazeebo builds. The enemy team being very aggressive in the early game, just running it down middle. I hope they don't regret that here in a little bit. Our Q ability is the Jar of Spiders. This skill has to hit an enemy or nothing happens, making it a rather difficult skill shot in all honesty. The size of the hitbox of the enemy you're going up against can vary drastically. So if you're not used to playing against a particular character, it can actually be very difficult to land a Q. I get really excited when I see like an Azmodan or a Stitches or something, or a Cho'Gall or something, you know? Then we can have no problems at all. A Deathwing, great example of a gigantic hitbox. So our sustain right now isn't that great, but it will get better as the game progresses. For instance, at level 4, which we are coming up on pretty quick, we're going to get a very nice survivability boost, assuming we can continue to land our spiders. Our W ability is the Wall of Zombies. There are builds for this that are really good. We're not building anything for it. It's just there. Walls can be great, even if you don't catch heroes in the center, if you're denying an area that's still super valuable, and I feel like people forget about that sometimes. Our E ability sends out toads towards our enemies. E builds for Nazeebo is the most popular way of playing right now. I, however, like being engaged when I play a character. I like having to use my brain. And I feel like with toads, you just kind of send the toads out and maybe something happens and maybe it doesn't. A lot of times people will see the damage of a toad build and be really impressed by it, but unfortunately it's just a lot of inconsequential damage in my opinion. It's like a little bit of AoE poison here, a little bit of AoE poison there, whereas when you see spider damage, you know that that's direct damage on a single player that can be really impactful. Like, I'm assassinating people, not watching them wither away slowly. So now that we hit level 4, every time one of our spiders hits an enemy, it's going to be restoring a little bit of health and mana to us, which is a great boon for keeping ourselves alive in lane. As we go back, we can see I'm at almost 10,000 hero damage. The enemy team's Rain are leading the charge with 11. All right. I'm just going to keep rotating back up to the top lane to try to hold that down to the best of my ability. Once we level up, and we get the Spirit of Akira at level 7. This is where spider build gets really nutty, actually. You can keep slows on Jaina. I might be able to do a little something. There's the spiders. Is it gonna be enough? She actually got a heal from Urel. She got very lucky, but that's our level 1 quest already done. Now all we have to do is keep landing spiders. It's that easy. As they're moving up, we're just gonna put that zombie wall down, actually catching Lily with it. The enemy team's very lucky that they have Urel because she can effectively remove my zombies whenever she feels like it with her knockback. That basically doesn't have a cooldown. Rather than fighting, I'm gonna go down to the lane and make sure that we're still working on our quest at least a little bit. Spirit of Akira gives you an additional spider if you hit only a single target with your vase of spiders. So basically it focuses the damage on a single target even more. Let's see if we can hit Lily as she's running around. We do. The spiders are giving chase, 63 damage a hit, and that is a kill. Urel moving up to knock me back, but that hop was a little short. There are a few problems with zombies, with spiders. For instance, they actually have to chase after their enemy and physically hit them in order to deal damage. Not a lot of other spells in the game work that way. So if I land a skill shot on a Tracer and then Tracer zips away with her 3 charges of sprint, then there's not too much that we're really able to do to consistently damage her. But, you know, Muradin walking up, we know he's auto-attacking me, we know he's not moving, and look how much damage I can dish out. Oh, Brightwing left. That's kind of scary. Jaina moving up. We'll just hit her with some spiders. And look at that regen. It's like we have a regen globe every time we land our Q ability. And we are blazing away into first place for damage done right now. As Muradin steps up, we'll step back, hit him with the jar of spiders. If there's 3 people in my lane, that means my team only has to fight 2 people, which is a good thing. A good thing. Here's the hook. Oh, didn't happen. As Jimmy walks up, we tried to throw some spiders at him, but we did miss, and the enemy team's gonna have to deal with our objective. Urel moving up a little bit too far. I'm not able to hit her with too much at the moment, though. We do get some spiders on the back line. Oh, this is another strategy you could do. If you have an enemy player who's sitting really close to the lane, and a minion next to them is about to die, you can throw spiders on the minion and then they'll retarget the player. I'm just trying to give you as many Nazeebo tips as I can because I really focused on getting really good at this character this year. It's been a lot of practice leading up to this. We're gonna pick up Ravenous Spirit. This is my ultimate of choice. It's not everybody's, but let me show you why it's mine. AoE damage can be so good. And if you get a good zombie wall and you manage to clump up a few enemies, the Ravenous Spirit can absolutely rip them apart. I like to think that there's two play styles for Nazeebo. The Toad one, which is very passive. You're just kind of shooting abilities off towards your enemies, and if it hits, great. They're gonna take poison over time. And then with that setup, usually those players also go for Gargantuan, which they just kind of set it and forget it. It's the rotisserie style of playing Nazeebo, whereas mine is the much more focused assassin gameplay style, where if I miss my shit, I'm really gonna feel it. But the burst damage that this character could bring to the table is absolutely insane. The reason I'm not super worried about my voodoo ritual stacks, I didn't talk about that, did I? My trait, whenever I kill something, whenever something dies with a poison on it, we're going to get a HP bonus and a mana bonus for the rest of the game. So that's why I'm just making sure that whenever we're in lane, I'm just trying to poison as many minions as possible. There's a level 4 talent for Nazeebo called Big Voodoo that used to be mandatory, that made it so your stacks go the extra distance. They give you more bonuses. Really good, but I just don't need it. I would much rather have the self-healing in lane. And because of that, I don't think my stacks are necessarily as important as, you know, maybe you think they are if you normally go Toad build. Enemy team trying to defend their building up top. Jaina looking pretty low here. We're going to hit her with the Ravenous Spirit. Good interrupt by Urel. I am doing those kind of close. However, we do hit Jaina with a nice hefty jar of spiders. That's going to totally zone her out of this area. If the enemy team's up here defending, that means that middle lane is totally cleared. So I actually want to rotate here and do as much damage to a tier 2 structure as I can. With Muradin showing up, that's a little more sketchy than with just Raynor staying there. We're going to focus the jar of spiders on the building. The enemy team does have their level 10s. We're going to slot in ice block here, making ourselves a little more defendable. Zombie wall right around Jimmy. We hit him with the spiders. We hit him with the toads. It feels good, my dudes. It feels really good, my dudes. Ice block is one of the best ways for just avoiding damage if you can remember to use it. You go totally invulnerable for 3 seconds. Not that this enemy team has too many crazy things, but you know, if I see Jaina walking up and there's a blizzard on me, we might be able to avoid a few applications of damage there. As the friendly team is still pushing, we just break away to try to get a few more stacks, make sure we're still sieging, clear out a little bit more vision that the enemy team might have. And I'm thinking I kind of want to take this mercenary camp underneath me, especially if we're starting to lose people. The arc just going down. So let me make sure that we have plenty of pressure versus our adversaries. We do just fine at taking camps, especially when you consider that your zombies can actually take a lot of the attention away. Giant camps like this are pretty easy for almost any character to tank. I do struggle a little bit more with the night camp. I feel like because I'm not going toads, I don't quite have the AoE damage to burst that down in a reasonable amount of time. But again, your zombie walls can totally tank this stuff, and anytime something runs into a zombie, that's also going to take damage as well. We're going to use my sippy cup just to bring me back up to full mana, or at least somewhat close to it. We've done 34,000 damage in this game. The enemy team's starting to take some camps of their own. We just saw 3 in the bottom lane and 2 in the top, so they're probably rotating up to me. And I want to make sure I'm staying somewhat safe. Yeah, here they come. Here they come. With the friendly team adding a lot of pressure to the top lane, we might be able to continue pushing this. Spiders down on the back line just to rip that apart. I'm going to zombie wall this turret on the right as well. Get as much damage in on it as I can. Try to just burst it down as fast as possible. Now we're moving in for the tier 2s. We see Jimmy in the middle lane. We've lost sight of Muradin. Oh, there he is. I'm glad he's an avatar and not a haymaker. I would have been fucking screwed there. Urel channeling an ability and moving slower while she does it, so we're just gonna catch her inside of that zombie wall. Now we spirit these guys. Urel super low is gonna pop the bubble to sustain, so let's just cancel our ultimate there. Jaina moving up. I do miss the spiders on Jaina. Now that we're coming up on level 16, I'm gonna pick up Soul Harvest. Another reason that I'm a little less intimidated by having low stacks is because Soul Harvest is going to give us temporary HP up to 5 stacks for every enemy around us when we use the ability. And that's for any enemy. So I can walk into a minion wave and get a bunch of temporary health and temporary spell power. So you can use this as a really big boost for your character leading up to a team fight. Your rel hit with the spiders. Good polymorph. We catch her in the zombie wall. She tries to jump out, and she is barely going to get away. So I just used the ability. Maybe you can go back and rewind 5 seconds and tell me how much HP I had before I used it. But we're at 4,632. I guess we could just wait it out because this buff doesn't last long. But that's a 35% spell power increase. That's extremely meaningful when we're throwing assassins, spiders to assassinate a single target as fast as possible. 35% more damage on those things is crazy. It's actually crazy. We do manage to keep the push up long enough to take down that building. Now Jaina Proudmoore stuck inside of Leoric's wall. Got a few hits off on her. The spider jar impact will finish her off, and then our spiders chase down Jim Raynor, who we assassinate with our ultimate as well. I'm gonna ice block real fast here, then get some temporary hit points, trying to run away from Yrel. Spiders almost ready again. We send them out, but they do miss, unfortunately, so we're not going to be healing from that. Is this... I'm just gonna leave this way. I'm gonna sneak into the lane, keep on pushing, make sure we get our soul harvest buff here. Cool. Looking good, boys. Looking real good. 5 members of the enemy team are up, and I'm kind of by myself, so I'm a little scared. We're going to back up. Leoric has made a great point. We do have a turn in. Stitch is moving down to get this camp. I want to help him if I am able. And then we'll get this pushing. Really, if we wanted to, we could secure boss and then turn in as we're capping it. I don't think this enemy team would actually do much to stop us, but we might be a little too far away for that. We might be a little across the map for that. So we turn in. Is this our third objective of the game or second? We're looking at level 19 right now. By the end of this, likely level 20. I'm pretty far forward here, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I'll back up a little bit. Let's go ahead and try to get some spiders out on these guys. We do just barely miss. Really, we want to push bottom out to the best of our ability. So I'm going to help Leoric down here. Maybe we'll get a hop out of Muradin. Maybe not. Spiders are out on Jimmy. I'm totally fine because Brightwing is teleporting in to save me. If Muradin hops away, we're just going to summon in our ultimate and chase him down with it. We can extend this thing quite a distance if we need to. Leoric's wall goes up and a Stitch is hooked to pull someone in it, while we also assassinate Lily with the very same spirit that we summoned in before. And this is looking like it's gonna be GG. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but when 2021 rolled around, I was like, I'm gonna get good at Nazeebo. And this was the result of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride. It's been a really, really fun experience. You will notice that we did not finish our stacks early on in this one. We were only at 133 at the end of that game. Again, not something I'm worried about at all when we're going for a spider build. If we were doing something else, then those stacks would matter a lot more to me. Thank you guys so much for playing. For those viewers that joined us today, I appreciate it. You have no idea how much easier you make my life. Oh my God. Talents we went for in today's videos: Widowmakers into Hexed Crawlers, Spirit of Akir. Easy rule of thumb: if it has a spider before level 10, you take it. At 10, I prefer Ravenous Spirit. I think it lends itself very well to the assassin playstyle. Ice Block to keep ourselves safe. Soul Harvest to do the same thing, but also increase our damage. There is a talent, I don't remember if it's 13 or 16, that also gives you CDR. When you throw spiders at someone and they deal damage, you get cooldown reduction on all of your other basic abilities. That's more of a Toad thing. It lets you get more Toads out. That's not really a me thing. And then at level 20, I didn't take it, I should have gotten the upgrade to our Ravenous Spirit to just increase its damage even more. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. We'll be back again very soon with a look at Nova. That'll be no problem at all.